Hey everybody, Chief here from the OCast MTG content creator, back with another episode of Unique Commanders. And today's commander comes to us from a friend of mine named Quentin, and we'll get right into it. I think we're gonna all have fun with this guy today.
Music licensing reimagined.
Today's commander is Zeriam, Golden Wind. For 3 and a white, you get a legendary creature Griffin who's a 3/4 with flying, who says, whenever a Griffin you control deals combat damage to a player, create a 2/2 white Griffin creature token with flying. So the game plan here is pretty self-explanatory. You want to make as many of those 2/2 evasive Griffin creature tokens and swing in for massive combat damage. You could potentially go Griffin Tribal with this, but honestly the commander does so much work to enable the game plan, you don't really have to. So we'll get right into some of the best cards that help support this game plan. First up, so Moat is an old card from Legends, very powerful stacks effect. I want to specify, this card is not in the deck. This is a very expensive rare card for probably close to $900. But there is a card in the deck that does a pretty good impersonation. Magus of the Moat. Same mana cost, you get a creature that's a 0/3 that says creatures without flying can't attack. So this is a big stacks piece that prevents your opponents without flying from really being able to do anything to you combat wise. Except block. And if they don't have flying, they can't block your stuff anyway. Next up, we got a Myriad of the Sky Ruin. It's a land that taps for white, but it has this incredible ability that says at the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 7 or more planes, you may return a target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So just being able to reanimate a creature from your graveyard every upkeep is pretty huge, because even if they destroy your commander and you put him in the graveyard, you just get him right back on the next turn. Next we got Michiko Kanda, Truth Seeker. 3 and a white, you get a legendary creature, Human Advisor. She's only a 2/2, but her ability says when a source an opponent controls deals damage to you, that player sacrifices a permanent. And this is massive because she doesn't say combat damage, she just says damage. So even doing non-combat damage to you really hurts your opponents because they have to sacrifice not only a creature but a permanent. That's a massive reason not to attack you or do damage to you in any way. So incredible card in this deck. Next we got Delny Streetwise Lookout. 2 and a white, you get a legendary creature, Human Scout 2/2, who says creatures you control with power 2 or less can't be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater. And if an ability of a creature you control with power 2 or less triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. So Delny is just a powerhouse in this deck because it makes most of your already evasive Griffins even harder to block for your opponents. And if you have creatures that are low to the ground with only power 2 or less that have powerful abilities that trigger, you get that trigger a second time. Amazing card. And finally we got Osier Tak, Deepest Foundation. For 4 and 2 white, you get a 6/6 legendary creature, God with Vigilance, who says if 1 or more creature tokens would be created under your control, 3 times that many of those tokens are created instead. And if Osier Tak dies, you return to the battlefield tapped and transformed into a land that you can pay 2 and a white to transform it back if you meet the condition. So Osier Tak is kind of unique in the token doublers world. It only does creature tokens. However, it triples instead of doubles. So while Mondrak and maybe Anointed Procession may be the better, arguably, options for this effect, just getting triple the Griffin tokens in this deck is absolutely a way for you to run away with the game. Amazing card. And that's pretty much it for today. I think Zeriam is a very underrated commander, very slept on. You don't hear about it much, but this game plan of just going as wide as possible with evasive creatures is so powerful. And I can tell you, from playing against this deck, it is kind of hard to stop once it gets rolling, because he also runs a lot of protection to protect his board, his win con, and a lot of ways to control the board and a lot of removal, which is kind of what white does. But yeah, if you're interested in playing this commander, I highly recommend it. I played the deck myself, it's a lot of fun, and it just can run away with the game. And that's pretty much it for today. I hope you've all enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll keep churning these videos out and talking about Magic content.
Music licensing
So,
reimagined.
as always, this has been Chi from the OKest MTG Content Creator. You all have a good one.